I'm here. We really do. It's the best time. Y'all saw my meme today. I literally thought of Chastity when I posted it. It said, apparently, when you look at your phone and you smile, people think you're in a relationship. And I was like, no, it literally means my besties just sent me the funniest meme ever. Like, that's why I'm smiling at my phone because one of y'all has made my day. So, welcome. Greg and I did not get together and go over any ranks or anything. Like I said, I've been doing Zooms all day, but kudos to y'all. Y'all know I went crazy this morning trying to catch up on my brag post. We have had parties going on in Athens and Newmarket. We have 2-on-1s. You guys are getting with me and making calls, and that is huge because we all know that one of the biggest things that holds us back is fear, right? Fear. Like everybody has it and nobody should. And what's crazy is like I'm sitting here coaching you, but it's not because you're not capable. You just need that little bit of wind in your sails so that you can pick up that phone. Yesterday, I drove to Moody and got with Lisa, and she was like, "Oh, the nerves have started." I said, "You got this." I left. Like we got on the phone with a couple. We talked about some others. We reached out to some others. And on the way home, no, after we got home, me and Deanna were headed over to Kelvin's to do the party. Phone rings. I was like, hang on just a second. And I answered and she's like, hey, I just talked to so and so and she's ready to talk to you on Monday when she gets back home. And I'm like, well, where did this woman come from? Like it was that much and it totally changed her perspective. And a lot of you are learning like what's possible here, that it's these little things. And so, how many of you saw the post I did this morning in our group? Like, I woke up early this morning and I started writing because I woke up to a text message from Jess. Y'all know I've talked about Jess several times. She is like my kindred spirit, but she's deaf. Like, not fully. She wears a hearing aid, so she has a little bit of a speech issue, but y'all, she's incredible with social media, taking pictures. She's full of energy. She cleans houses. Her husband's over the nurses at Brookwood Medical in Birmingham. They just a lovely couple, like massive family down in Dodge City. Her stepmother owns a really nice decor store in downtown Coleman, but I have courted her for months. Y'all remember me posting about her Hallmark house? Like, makes me want to throw up. You pull up at her house, and I'm like, not even fair. Like, it's so freaking awesome. She has this little barn built in her front yard her dad had done before they bought the house. It's her childhood home. And the other day, she went on Facebook and bought a chandelier to hang in that barn. If you saw, y'all, I need this. I'll post the pictures. Like fashion, all the stuff. You should see her closets, but she's cleaning houses and she doesn't want to keep doing that because it's hard on her body. But the time has to be her time. So I spent 5 hours at a dinner with her at her house and her husband. That's the first time I mean, I'd met him one other time in a parking lot when she got drops 2 years ago. I reached out. We had a conversation after my breakup for 2 hours because she just needed to tell me everything I needed to know and how he wasn't good enough. I was mowing the grass through the whole thing. And then I went to her house for 5 hours. And then I got her on, or I invited her to support me on the Partner Co Zoom, and she missed it. And then I invited her on the IPA where she heard the Epic Club. And after that, she said, I think I understand it now. Maybe a couple of questions. I'm like, great. When can you get together? She was like, on the phone or in person? I said, either. What works for you? Crickets. Called her Monday or Tuesday. Monday was holiday. Called her Tuesday. I said, what are you doing? She was like, ah, blah, blah, blah. No, she was like, what about you? I said, I took off walking. I was like, we got to get together. She was like, I'm off on Friday. I said, great. Let's just plan that. We talked for a minute. I said, I'm going to knock this out. I didn't hold up her day. I didn't try to force her. On Friday, I'm not calling her at 8 a.m. Like, not happening. It's Friday. We've set the day. I don't have to call her first thing in the morning. I'm not waiting for her to get out of that bed. I got to get her closed. Is that going to go over well? No. I don't think I sent her a message until what time did I message her? I sent her and I called her at like 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock. And when I called her, she didn't answer. And I clicked over because somebody else was calling. So I didn't even leave her a message. And I remembered about an hour later that I didn't even say anything. And you know why? Because I don't have to have her. She would be great. She could be a Summer. But what if Brent had put all his eggs in the Summer basket? Poor Brent. He'd have been waiting a long time. Well, he did. But he didn't. He kept building. And so I sent her an audio at 1:55 and said, "Hey, I forgot to leave you a message. I clicked over. This is what I got. I got a couple of girls I can play send you, blah, blah, blah." And then I sent her a text after that because I was like, I didn't even listen to that. I don't even know what I said. And I said, and if any of that didn't make sense, sorry, I was multitasking because I was. I was walking through the house doing something. She knows how I am. And crickets. But you know what I did? I enrolled another girl. I had Zooms planned for Saturday morning. Some of them canceled. I drove to Moody and made calls and found out who Lisa has in her circle, in her Rolodex that she has not brought to the table. And holy smokes, Lisa's got some contacts. And then on the way home, I called Stacy's new guy. Brent called me as I was walking in Lisa's. He said, "We're going to North Carolina." I said, "Okay, tell me when." "What are we doing?" I called David and I said, "Hey, got a proposition for you." And I was like, wait, maybe I should say that differently. And he busted out laughing. I said, "Brent's going to make so much fun of me." Brent's like, "That's how we lose the spouses, Summer. Like, we need better words." And I was like, "I have an idea for you." And he was like, "Oh, okay." David's just laughing. He's real good natured. Greg, you'll love him. He's a lot like you. Anyway, I just said, "Brent's going to be in town. How about we come by, do you a party?" He was like, "Oh, well, that would be fun. Let me work on." Like, you could just tell he was like, "Holy smokes!" But he's like one of the top income earners in the world. I'd say we take him up on it. And so he messaged me in a little while the demographics of everybody that lives in his area. Very well to do. Like, the low income people are making $125,000, $130,000 a year. Is that a good market for us to go get into? We ain't going into the projects. Like, they'll spend the money. So Stacy didn't find out till today that we were going. I was like, "Hey, by the way, we're going to North Carolina. You going with us?" But it all happened so fast. And on the ride home, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't tell this part, but I was having to do my social media content getting home and fight the rain and fight the traffic because I hadn't got it all done because I've been busy all day. And we went to Kelvin's, two more people there. We sold product, interested in the business. The one that didn't buy product has a nephew that's like into fitness. And I'm like, he's our guy. And today, Kelvin puts me on the phone with one that's got 16,000 followers. And they actually came organically, like, it's not a spammed account, because she shared her story, her testimony on being an addict and her recovery. And she has 16,000 followers. Now, between that today, we had appointments that got canceled, postponed. And then the last one, I'm like, "Hey, are we still on?" And they showed up with 9. Do you understand doing the do? You understand during the hard times is when you get better. When you think you're in the slump, when you think nobody's listening, when you think nobody's doing anything, as long as you are doing something, God rewards that. This morning in church, we finished the book of Genesis. If you haven't studied it in detail, there's a lot in that book, but the majority of the book is on the story of Joseph. And we all know he was sold into slavery. And the Genesis 50-20 rule applies in business as much as it does in regular life. things we sometimes see as bad are actually meant for our good. And these slowdown seasons, when it's not totally booming, allows us to stretch and grow. And the other day I called Brent and I said, I got a guy. He's not exactly a chicken list. I just don't really know him. He's a basketball coach, but he's got a lot of contacts. He's been around a long time. He's retired now. And I really feel like there's some potential there, but I don't even know what to say to him. Like just random. I was like, I see him on my Facebook. He's, well, I wouldn't point that out. He may feel like a creeper. I was like, okay, we can leave that off the table. I was like, but my point is, like, what do I say? I said, I'm overthinking it. I was like, this is almost uncomfortable. And he said, I love it. And I was like, you're so weird. What? And he said, you know what I'm going to say? I said, when you're uncomfortable, you're growing. That's what I told him. And he's like, yep. He said, just say this. Immediately when we hung up the phone, I didn't even think about it. I sent it because I was like, how do I talk coach to a dude? Like, I've never really recruited men that much. But probably because my words don't come out great. I mean, I did tell David, I was like, I have a proposition for you. Probably not the best terminology for a single female to recruit. I don't know. Brent said it might work for me. That's what he started laughing about. And within an hour or two, he messages back. He said, actually, I got a lot of sinus stuff going on right now and I cannot hardly talk. Will you send me your number? I'll call you in a day or two. I sent it. He said, thanks. Am I sitting here by my phone waiting on coach to call? Do you see everything that happened? And you know what? Worst case scenario, the Joker goes, yeah, no, I'm not interested. And then he just keeps creeping on my stories and seeing me in Maui and Morocco. And he's like, well, I'm an idiot. I mean, literally, like we get all tore up over what somebody's going to say or think. And at the end of the day, are you talking to them every day anyway? Renee, do you talk to everybody on your Facebook friends list? No? Karen, like, so if they say no, they go right back into that little box where their name pops up every now and then, or they unfriend you and do you a favor. Don't let that be what prevents you from growing a big business here. This is your time to stretch and grow. And Brent said, this is the run. Y'all have heard us say it. You heard us talking about Todd. When they did this for Catalyst Club, it's what led to Robin Perone. Robin Perone led to Reese and Ashley. Reese and Ashley led to Chris and Joni, his dad, all the Canadian, all that down in Mexico with Risha Adair. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And on the other side is Cynthia Bolden, who recruited Michelle McKay as a customer. And then it clicked and it led to thousands and thousands. And honestly, Brent recruited Summer. And I blew up in like a week or two. I was like, oh, this is fun. I'm making some cash. And I was like, what are we doing? And about mid-September, I wasn't real sure what we were doing. I'm like, this is a hot mess. We were selling drops too cheap. Like, I'm like, this is November. Black Friday came out, and all I saw was Hill and Diane, Renee, Chastity. They could all make a lot of money on these. Like, their profit on the drops would go through the roof. And I just started helping y'all do it. And I was like, well, you'll hit this rank and you'll hit this rank. And Brent called me and he said, you're 6 packs away. I was like, from what? I don't understand. He said, just get it done. We weren't friends that weekend, but I got it done. And I still wasn't sure. And he said, I need you to go meet John and Darren. Do you see how we're moving the ball down the field? I told Brent Palmer right out of the gate, I said, I ain't doing these stupid parties. I've already ran all over doing parties. I'm not doing it. He said, you don't have to. You can do everything through Zoom, through your phone, through social media. And I was like, okay. Who went and did parties this week? The girl who said she wasn't doing the stupid parties. Who's flying to North Carolina to do a party? This girl who said she wasn't doing stupid parties. Meet them where they are. whether it's on the journey to get them to try the product, whether it's on the journey. I know Kelvin and I talked to this Andrea girl before. I don't know when it was, and she's just now coming on board because he reminded me we'd talked to her. I talked to a lot of people. I want you to just understand this is your chance. Even if you did this at first and you had success out of the gate and it backslid a little bit, if you didn't watch my story with the Fraser Brooks XY axis, that's the math teacher in me, and his journey of the network marketing career, I'm going to post it again. You need to go watch it because that's exactly what we're doing. And what you think so and so quitting, so and so being ugly to you, so and so bashing you, so and so being difficult, so and so leaving the three-way text. That's the first time that's ever happened too, Diane. That's the funniest thing to me. Literally put her in a three-way text, she just exits. And I was like, whoa, that's serious. Her husband does my AC work, which is even funnier. But that can either make you or break you. We can laugh about it, which Diane about spit her dinner out, or we can get all tore up and think that's the end of the rope. What if Joseph had thought completely different through that journey? And he was sold into slavery and thrown into prison by Potiphar's wife and all that. Would the good have come from it? No, if he'd been mad at God and just disobedient, that'd been a different outcome. So you have a choice to make. You've got to decide what you want here. Are you going for 8, or are life's distractions going to distract you for the next 8 weeks? I think that's how many's left. What's it going to be? Mr. Bibb is with us tonight. That sounds weird. We're going to have to go with Coach Bibb. That's Mr. Bibb. Mr. No,
That's what I tell my wife
Coach
to call
Bibb. Poor Tamra. Take it away, buddy.
Oh, that was awesome, Summer. And you started off with fear, and I had it down tonight to talk on the importance of personal development. That helps with fear. My story with personal development, it was I was pretty hard headed, and I still am, depending on who you're talking to. It wasn't really easy for me to get started because I hated to read. My first experience, I was with my sponsor in my first company, Robbie Davis, and I had a new team member down in Byrdstown, Tennessee, where I did teach and coach, and she wanted to do an event at her church that night. And so instead of driving 30 minutes home, I just did whatever at school until 7 o'clock that night, and then went over to the church. And nobody showed up, not even the girl that started that wanted the party. She didn't show up. So it was just me and my sponsor, Robbie, standing in the parking lot of the church. And I started whining, complaining a little bit. And that's when Robbie reached in his truck, grabbed a CD, slapped it in my chest, said, Greg, in a way, he said, stop your whining, but you got to listen to this. And that CD was Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business. And it was awesome. Listen to that on the way home, every day going to school, on the way home, 30 minutes each way. I listened to it several times for an entire month. And it got so ingrained in my mind when I wasn't even listening to that CD. I was walking through the halls of school. For things to change, I need to change. For things to get better, I need to get better. So that really started me on that journey. And there was another guy, I was at my first leadership retreat, and there was another guy standing in front of the room talking about personal development. And he said a quote that's really stuck with me. He said, if your income ever outgrows who you are, it'll quickly turn around and sprint back toward you. Now, we weren't at the peak of our earnings in that company at that time, but we were making more money than I ever was. So it really started me taking that a little bit more serious. So at that time, I had a decision to make. Was I going to stay right where I was, or was I going to start growing? Was I going to start doing the uncomfortable things like you talked about, the things that I necessarily like to do, but I had to do to lift that glass ceiling that was holding us down? So I started with audios like with Jim Rohn's and several others. Then I moved to Simple Truths books. I don't know if y'all have heard of Simple Truths. You go to simpletruth.com, little bitty books, little simple reads that my attention span can handle, and then to the bigger reads. And there might be some of you that were that's like I was. I say the biggest key is just to start. It doesn't get in the way of the things that you already do. You have to make the phone calls. You have to do the parties. You have to do those things if you want to win. But I want to bring out 5 reasons why personal development is so important. Number one, it helps you understand network marketing. In anything we do to give us the best chance to win, we have to understand the rules of the game. And it reminds me of coaching at the first of the year. Coach Mike Buck can attest to it. We have to go to an officials meeting, and that's where they tell us any rules changes that have happened, give you points of emphasis, what the officials are looking for. So we have to understand what we're doing. And it's sad because I thought this was sales, and that's what personal development helped me through that. But it's sad, but we know it's a fact that 100% of people outside of network marketing don't understand it, period. And 90% of people in network marketing don't understand it. So it makes us more efficient when we know what we're doing. You know, Ecclesiastes 10:10 says, if the axe is dull and one doesn't sharpen the edge, then he must exert more strength, but wisdom leads to success. So personal development sharpens that axe for you. Number 2, it makes you better equipped to deal with problems. As you grow in this business, and Summer will attest to it, a lot of you will too. As you grow, your problems don't go away. Dealing with a bigger team of people as you grow, and you're dealing with people, like I said, so you're going to have more problems. So all this does, and it's not about for you, it's not meant, and our goal is not to shy away from any kind of a problem. Our goal is to make ourselves bigger, grow ourselves bigger than any problem that we're ever going to deal with. You know, I was told early on, and it was that same guy that I talked about in the front of the room at that leadership retreat. The size of your check will be in direct proportion to the size of the problems you solve. So it's coming. So you have to grow. The issues that you're going through right now are not anything, because there's no new problems in network marketing. They're the same problems over and over again. So they're the same problems that the Brent Palmers of the world haven't already gone through. So grow yourself. It makes you better equipped. Number 3, grow your self-esteem. It grows your self-esteem and your self-worth. Success is what we attract by who we become. And, you know, like Summer was saying earlier, we worry way too much about how people view us, right? We worry about what they think, what they say, when it really doesn't matter. Because really, how do people really view you? Do they view you through their eyes, or do they view you through your eyes? So how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a winner? Do you see yourself as somebody that people should join? How do you see yourself? How you see yourself determines how you talk to yourself. And you can lie all you want to and say you don't talk to yourself. All of us do, and we all do it a lot. And the most important conversations are the ones you have with yourself every single day, because all of this stuff does is it fills our well, that well that's within our soul. And whatever's in the well always comes up in the bucket. You are the most influential person in your life. Nobody is more instrumental at your success, and nobody is more instrumental if you fail. So it's all on you. And number 4, it grows your financial mindset. We're all worth millions, but it's self-limiting beliefs that hold us back. It's how we view money holds us back. You know, some think money, and I've heard people say it, money is the root of all evil. No, it's not. The love of money is the root of all evil, right? We think about somebody that has an insane amount of money. What do we say about those people? They're filthy rich, right? And they think about it as dirty because we want to touch it, especially a germaphobe after me, kind of. You got to wash your hands after you touch money, right? That's how we think about it. So personal development helps us change our beliefs. Money is only a tool. that makes us more of what we already are. It reveals what's already in our hearts. And personal development creates and expands our vision. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. It's our mind's eye. We see our finish line, right? Why people quit, I said it a couple of weeks ago. They can't take their eyes off their current situation. So see your finish line. And my favorite book of all time, The Traveler's Gift, it said, circumstances are the rulers of the weak and the weapons of the wise. And number 5, personal development grows leadership skills. To grow your team and your income, we have to grow. We've said it several times tonight. To grow a strong, thriving, stable business, you have to grow leaders. People make the mistake a lot of the times thinking this is just a people duplication business, and it's not. If you want to win and win big, it's a leadership duplication business. To grow more leaders, you got to grow your own skills. And then you also got to practice them. If it's just you, and it might be just you tonight that's on your team, then lead yourself. How important is a leader? I was thinking about this in church, and all of us have had it before. We've all had that bad song leader, right? You got people that are sitting in the pews that have known, say, a song all their life. They've sung it at least twice a month their whole life, and it starts out being led the wrong way. All of us have seen it. So now it leads to the key being off, the timing's off, the tempo's off. And then in different sections of the church, singing at a different pace and a different tune. My wife for a totally different reason. Tell her she can't sing at all. That's exactly what happens in this biz. You set the tone, the pace, the cadence with your team. And if you don't do it, somebody else will step up and do it. And sometimes it's somebody that you don't want to step up and do it. And that's when the water gets muddied. Everybody's on a different page. People are confused, and confused people do nothing. So lead your team. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, reach up and get help. And I'd like to encourage you to stay on your personal development journey, because contrary to what you've been told all your life, ignorance is not bliss, and what you don't know can hurt you. So thank you so much, Summer.
Oh, I love that. Once again, we did not talk. I actually didn't know if you were getting on. I knew last week you were gone, and I was like, well, I should have texted him, but we'll see here in a minute. And we totally jived again this week. Guys, he nailed it. Like, so many of us struggle in that self-development area, and he's not kidding. Like, if you'll work on those things, here's the other thing I told somebody the other day. God's only going to give you what you can handle. I think I shared the analogy a few years ago, the guy holding all the balls, and God's got more stuff he wants to give him, but he can't manage what he's got in his hands. Like, you've got to have control of what you've got right now before you can go next level. You've got to work on yourself. Brent gave me another new book. I'm hoping it gets here by tomorrow to start on. And I'm like, I ain't even finished the other one yet. You got to slow down. But he's like, I mean, I'm asking for it. But it's just, we have an incredible opportunity. And my dad, the other night, I sat and talked with him. Y'all know he's a big dreamer, big in Amway. And he was like, if I could have went around and told the stories y'all can tell right now when I did Amway, he said, I would have blown it up. We had to just build the dream. The results weren't there. Y'all are growing so fast, and people do not even realize what y'all have. Like, we're taking it for granted. But if you were in any other network marketing companies, if you were with us in Limu, or maybe you were in Zija with Greg or anything else, or you had the uncle who lost his house because he joined one of those things, you know this one's different. I'm not saying all the other ones are bad, but there is a different presence here from the owners down. The comp plan's different, the community's different, the tools are different, and they are paying us stupid money. And like Greg said, it's just a tool. I've told several of you this weekend this story. I'm going to say it one more time, and I'm not going to cry. The other day, Bowen said, Mommy, do you remember when I cried on the plane when we left Maui? I said, I sure do, buddy. He said, did you want to cry too? I said, I sure did, buddy. He said, I miss it. He has no idea what that trip was. All he has is an ingrained memory of the best time of his little 7.5 year life because Partner Co does it that good. And everybody around us loved on the kids. We all get, and I mean, the kids see me thriving because that's what this company's offering. Friendships. I mean, Greg Bibb, Mike Buck, they're not on my team, but we have something special. And when we got home, I asked him, what do you want to be when you grow up? Paxton said, I think I want to do them skinny drops. You seem to make a lot of money and y'all have a lot of fun. So I think that. He's never really said that, but he saw the other side of what we have to offer. That's the first time I've really brought him into something to really see it. But y'all have got to see it so you can go get it. And once you see it, if you'll plug into Greg's 5 points and realize what that self development will do for you, you don't have to admit it in the comments, but I can pretty much tell you who's doing it and who's not. It's obvious. It always is. And when you're doing it, your attitude's different. You're going after it. You know you're going to get the epic. And if you're not, that chin's quivering. You're scared you're going to get left behind. You're nervous. You're scared to talk to everybody. That's right, Renee. Y'all know Renee. If you hadn't heard her story, you're going to hear it again one day. Don't let fear, insecurities take you out of this game. Make a decision on what you're going after and go after it. I hope everybody has an amazing week. It is Sunday. Tomorrow, the Body Balance Challenge starts. If you're on my team and you're doing the Body Balance Challenge, will you please text me? Registration's tonight. In the morning, you'll get an email with the words, post your picture. We've got a lot of people in there. All the Black Friday specials are going. The 90-day shred is going. Easy at home workouts, that's free. And Nashville's coming up. I totally skipped over that. That's 4 weeks away. We'll be launching Moringa, and I have been doing research on that. We'll talk to Greg Bibb about that a little bit more too. It's going to be epic. Yes, we're going to overuse that word, and we're going to love it. Y'all have a great night.